Leading up to it, I used to be someone that would stop taking cocaine at maybe midnight. And then over the years, that progresses to someone that stops taking it at just the last couple of months. There was, I've just skipped a couple of years, but the last couple of months, it was buying enough so you would really not run out. So, like maybe 3, 4 grams for me, making sure I wouldn't run out. And you would run out. And it was days and days it was going into. You're not just talking about one night, you're talking about a couple of nights. And the feelings of just coming out of that is anxiety riddled and painful. The pain doesn't get easier because every cycle you go through there, you've just created another bad habit. You couldn't just go back to then, oh, right, actually, I'll just do half a gram and then I'll stop at midnight. No, you've created the monster, and then monster it is. It's just the pain ultimately, and it gets you to the point where, for me, I'd done like a 2.5 day bender, which was huge for me. Just hit rock bottom. My girlfriend was actually away. I just knew that I had to change, otherwise probably wasn't gonna. I didn't feel like I was gonna live that long. I'd do it and I'd get chest pains, and I mean chest pains, like serious chest pains. Picked up in ambulances. Sometimes I'd do it and I'd have to get my missus to massage my back, but basically it's where your arteries constrict. It's just the whole concoction of things. But I think everyone has their bottom. It's just, how low to that bottom do you want to go? Most people are there, but you don't need to go that far. Nothing good is going to come out of it when you get down to the point of no return, which is having a drink, and not just to be able to have a drink. As soon as you can't have a drink, there's no coming back from that. And it's taken a while to be able to admit that, but that is true. And I have people around me. You said to me, you don't know anyone, and I've got people around me that I've put in contact with you, they can't get out of it
Yeah.
because they just keep drinking. They think they can do it and they can't.
You realize that the biggest hurdle to getting out of this is ourselves and the beliefs that we have that we can do this. And it's always why, the people that join the trail are usually the most resilient ones, who let it go on the longest, who let themselves suffer the longest until they finally kind of wave the white flag of like, okay, now I'm done. And, even for me, I look back and there was like 25 different situations over the years that should have been when you stopped. How was that not enough? This should have been when you stopped. How was that not enough? It's wild thinking back on it. But I guess, you got to that point and, the whole chest pains and ambulances, it's so dark. What was it about me that made you think this is what I need?
My girlfriend put me onto you. You were doing some quite funny memes then that were very relatable, like looking out the window. And I don't know, I could just connect, and you were very honest about the situations, and the situations you had. I was like, oh, yeah, I've had that, the porn and just all the shit things that come with it. And you just think to yourself, oh, right, yeah. And then it was just resonated with the things that you were saying. And then jumping on a call with you and like, oh, he's a real person. And then just getting and sort of kicking with you. But I didn't join the program because at that time, I think when I first spoke to you, it was a little bit different. We didn't have the position of actually joining a program, or maybe I did, but it was on Facebook. But it wasn't as what it is now. Like now, it's all singing and all dancing. Whereas at that point, I think you were doing like one-to-ones and stuff. So I'm super grateful that I found it, because I know everyone. So like some people in the group, you see, maybe some people like myself, as soon as I joined, I had a blow up at the start, like 1 or 2 days, and then that was it. But some people might have a few bumpy sort of slip ups, maybe. But I had slip ups all before that. So joining was just my time, and everyone's road to it is different. But it's definitely resonated with people like you. And then when you get in there, it blows your mind. Because there's not a load of homeless people. It's high millionaires, very high functioning people. It's really surprising, and we're all very similar. Not everyone, but I've resonated with 75, 80% of the people there. We had similar, even between the women as well. It wasn't just the men. Maybe it's a certain type of person, I don't know, has got the opportunity to be able to go down the routes that we go down. I'm not sure, but it's probably not a coincidence.
Well, I always found that if someone can financially afford it and be in a position work-wise where they have more autonomy over their time, those are two things which fuel the problem so much more, because there's no one telling you what to do and where to be, and you have the funds to keep it going. So it's a very similar type of person. But I remember when you joined and you went, you had a bit of a big weekend, which it can be quite common, because you kind of, that little voice in your head is like, oh, this is it. Let's have one last big session. I've seen a few people do that. And I think it kind of probably felt necessary to be like, let me just have one last go. Maybe it was necessary, maybe it wasn't, but at the time it's what needs to happen. When you joined the trail, why do you think it worked? Like, what was it like when you first got in there?
I wasn't someone that liked talking into a group of strangers. I was someone that didn't like sharing my own feelings. So when I joined, those were the things I was worrying about. And when I was in there, the first call I was on, there was 15 people. I had the option to like not put my camera on, so basically, no one will know. You can feel comfortable, but I had my camera on and I was very nervous, but people were like heartwarming, like in terms of there's 15 people on there and they're going, so Scott, tell us about you. And, like people are actually like trying to help me. And it's like, I'm pretty sure I took up most of this group call, which is for an hour. And maybe 45 minutes of that was just dealing, people. And I was just blown away by how everyone has taken their time to join this call. They generally just wanted to help. And it was only as I went down the line, then I realized when someone new joined, I was like, I know exactly how that person's feeling. And weirdly, they won't know that obviously we've been there, even though it's obvious, but you only really know it once you get down the line. And then you just want to I've reached out to certain people at the very start because you just know what they're going through. And once you've done it, you're like, oh, I wish I didn't feel like that. But that was my experience. And it was, a warm one. And I didn't miss many calls because people said that if you commit, there's a high probability that you'll succeed. So commit I did, and 2 years, coming up to 2 years. And
what were the parts of it that helped you the most throughout your time there?
the things that helped me the most, the fact that the coaches had been through what you'd been through, which I didn't actually realize prior to joining. That was something that I thought was really almost like they're role models, but they're also coaches. So they actually had some sort of skin in the game, and you could really sort of resonate with them and they could resonate with you.
Coming up to 2 years now, in what way is your life different to how it was 2 years ago?
Oh God. Okay, so I have quit my job. So I had a very successful job, and for me, successful, I'm someone that I didn't have a degree and stuff, but I've kind of I've worked my way up in a corporate sort of world, and I've just packed that job in. So I took a sabbatical for 6 months at the start of January 26, and we're talking now 6 months later. Been traveling for 6 months: Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia. Talking to you from Malaysia. You're in Sri Lanka. But I've quit my job. My salary was over 120,000 pounds, which is a figure that I never thought I'd get to. And I've just packed it in because I've realized that there is much more to life than the life that I was living. And I'm just taking this giant leap, which I probably spoke about a million times in someone's kitchen. It's always been a dream of mine. I think when I joined the Teetotal Trail, I was pretty vocal about it early on, but I am now living that. And I was just saying to you, I've got the next 6 months of the year left and I'm already planning that. And then 27, I'm going to be traveling again a little bit slower. But it's hard to even grasp the life I'm living. That's how good it is. For being sober, for the first year, it's a lovely experience because your thoughts aren't just going through like a weekly cycle. You can actually roll out a few ideas for months on end. But finally, I live this life now that I wouldn't drink now. And I say now because the whole journey leading up to it, even when you're, a week or a year, you still ask yourself, will I drink again? And it's a very daunting thought. Well, I will never drink again. Now, I don't allow myself to think I will never not drink again. Not that I will, but I don't allow myself to think that. And especially the early days, it's very short. Everyone will say it, but it's just a day at a time. And those small little wins, those little habits compound. Now I'm like, I call it the rocket, at the start. It's a lot of energy. If you're a rocket leaving Earth, you've got to put a lot of energy into it, a lot of concentration. When you get out of Earth's atmosphere and you're into space, man, I'm not coming back. This is just peaceful.
It's a great analogy. as well, because yeah, once you get to that point, it's just momentum, right? And you're just in a whole different environment, internally, externally. You're done with it. I agree with you. At the beginning, it's really hard to think about forever. I really struggled to think about forever in the beginning. It was like, I don't even know what it's going to look like. And I've said to people as well, if any of that lifestyle ever gave me something better than what I have now, I'd choose it. But it's never happened, never will happen. Life is incredible without it.
Incredible.
There'll probably be a few people watching this and they will be on the fence. They'll be at a place that so many other people get to, which is like, I can see this is what I need. I know it has to happen, but there's fear holding them back, or indecision, or I need to think about it. And I guess, what would you say to someone in that position?
You just don't need to suffer anymore. You don't need to go through the pain that you're going through. Taking a little bit of help is okay. It's okay to ask for help. Just do it now. Don't leave it, because you will. The first time I spoke to you, 6 months later, I came back and I've started, a little bit earlier. I wouldn't have gone through all those painful 6 months that I went through. It's hard to ask for help. We're not in my position. I can talk. I'm a man. Men are notoriously, not good for asking for help, not talking about their feelings. And everyone's seen that now with mental health, especially a big push around men's mental health. But the same goes for this. It's just ask for help, and it's okay to have help, because we all need help, and it's okay, But I have a feeling in my chest, and I genuinely mean it. And I just wish, the only reason I'm doing this, I don't need to do this. The only reason I'm doing it is so that someone can see it and go, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to join, because it'll be the best decision you'll ever make in your life. It will. And at the start, I was a little bit, and again, I've said this on another video, but I watched, when I hit my year, you gave me the video back, and you gave me a chance to watch my joining video. And uh, I remember watching it, and I remember the feelings I had. The one thing I was skeptical about was the money side of it. I remember the feeling, just going, do you know what? I'm going to do it, because I shouldn't not do this because of money. I'm just so glad I did it. I don't know how else you can put it into words. It's just the best thing you'll ever do.
So good.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's the best thing we ever did. Stop drinking. Life gets a lot better.